Hey guys, welcome back to Black Mountain Painting. My name is Ben, I'm the owner. We're going to talk about paint today. It's pretty exciting. And some of the newer trends that I'm seeing out in the Black Hills of South Dakota. You have to remember the Black Hills, we're usually about 2 to 3 years behind everybody else. So if you're going to see something cool in LA or New York, you're probably going to wait at least 2 years before you really start seeing it pop up in South Dakota. I know that gap has been about, when I first started, it was about 5 years. Now it's about 2. The big thing is painting everything white and black. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of painting everything white and black. So we'll start with white. If we paint everything white, if you choose a white, there's 120 different types of whites. So if you go and get a white from Ben Moore, Sherwin-Williams, make sure that alabaster is a really good color. But if you look at it, it's a white, but it has undertones of gray. So in certain lights, it's going to be gray. Gray puts off blues and greens. So you have to understand, like, to get pure white, like asylum white, you really have to check it in different types of light. So if you're going to go white, you have to make sure you put the sample somewhere close to a window, make sure that you see it throughout, like, even seasons almost, so you can get the different lighting and make sure that's kind of what you're going for. So, and then another tip that not a lot of paint guys will do is, say you have, you just want just a stark white, you can actually add white colorant to that, and instead of buying white off the shelf, you can take that white and add white colorant to it, and it'll actually cover better. So ask them to put in a couple shots of white colorant into your white base, and it will actually cover better than a lot of your other whites. Like, say, Chantilly lace, very popular color, but does not cover very good. So don't be surprised if you go to a paint company and you pick, I want Chantilly lace, and it's a little bit extra because they're going to have to probably do a third coat to get the coverage that they need for that area, to make sure that they're covering the past colors on that wall. Another thing too is wipability. With the colors that you have that are kind of transparent, like Chantilly lace, the wipability of that isn't as good as something that you'd come and kind of make yourself. So if Chantilly lace is a color that you really, really like, we can make Chantilly lace, but just add a little bit more colorant to it. That way it covers better, the wipability is better, and overall just kind of a better experience and cheaper for you in the long run because you're not having to do that third coat. Then we'll talk about blacks. Black paint is, I love it. My basement walls are all black, and I think that it adds length. Some people say that it feels like it's confining. It really depends on how you do it. Like, I didn't want to do the ceilings in black and then the walls in white because I felt like the ceilings would look shorter. We have about 9-foot ceilings in our basement. When we painted them black, the walls actually looked longer. So it made a huge difference in a basement area when we do walls, and depending on what is actually above you. Now, say you have an older basement where you can see the pipes and you can see the HVAC and stuff, I dry fall it. We've dry falled a lot of these basements. It actually, one, it's a trend, so you're not going to lose any value, and they'd rather see that than like a drop ceiling. Drop ceilings are kind of gone. Even with the drop ceiling, we're painting drop ceilings black constantly as well. And I think the idea of it dropping, it really depends on where your lighting is. If you have pendant lighting, it's going to make the ceiling feel lower because your pendant lighting is supposed to go down, but with the black absorbs the light and not allowing the light to actually get down to the floor, making the ceiling feel lower. Now, if you're in a basement, a newer basement where you have the puck lights, you're going to be able to, the black's not going to absorb those puck lights as much, or the LEDs, so as much as it would like a halogen bulb. So you guys have to kind of understand the type of lighting that you're going to be using in that space. So I have the puck lights. I want to tell our walls. So the walls went black. Ceiling, we just did a bright white, so then you had a lot of reflective areas, and it filled the room with light. And then when it got out to the walls, that's when the light kind of absorbed, and it made a really good theater room. We use that constantly. That's where our bigger TV is, and Super Bowl, everything, movies, that's where we go to watch that stuff. So it really depends on the area that you want to use it in and what you're trying to do with it. Now, a lot of people, like I was talking about, well, let's just go with my basement. You have white ceiling, black walls, and how do you create a line with such drastic colors? There's two different ways. You can be really good at painting and do that line. My guys can do it. I can do it. Or if you're or if you're a DIY person, some simple tricks are go grab a sponge, and this is what we call sponges. So you have a sponge. This is just a normal sponge. They actually make these too. Then you grab your sandpaper. I'm just going to use our orbital stuff. You wrap it in there, and you get a nice edge, nice round edge there. And you go to the corner of your walls. So like, say you have an inside corner. Oh, I'm just kind of moving you guys everywhere. Let's go over here. So we'll be in the booth quick. So you have an inside corner, because this is kind of what your basement would look like. And then you take that, put that in the corner, and just kind of sand down. Not firmly, just to kind of smooth out the texture. Because what happens is when they spray the texture, they don't tape off that line so that you have texture spots in there. That's what's causing you guys, the DIY guys, to not be able to cut a straight line in, because you hit a texture bump, and you're either painting the whole thing, so you have this little, if you really look at it, you'll see that it's kind of just bumpy. The sanding will take care of that. You should probably do it, you try to do it before you put paint on it, but if there's already paint on the walls, you can still do it. Just be super gentle and run it up and down. Get a sharp edge and really work that. And then your brush will actually fall into that slot, and you'll have a nice clean line. Another way, okay, I don't want to use sandpaper, nor do I have sandpaper, but I have tape. Tape your line. Use your level. Make sure it's level, nice and level, or you're following, if it's an older home, it's probably not plumb. It's probably not a 90 anymore. So tape your straight line. Make sure your eye test is there. And then caulk that tape, and then paint into the caulk. And then when you pull it off, the caulk will come with it, and just a nice small bead of caulk, and it'll seal that tape. You pull it off, and you'll have a nice crisp line that way too. So that's one way to do. That's two ways to do white and black together. And if you're doing ceilings, same thing, you just take the wall angle and take the ceiling angle where the wall and the ceiling meet. Biggest thing is do the eye test. It's building, nothing's perfect. I mean, you can spend all day, all night watching the builders. It's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna be level, but it's not gonna be perfect. Your eye's gonna pick up on it faster than anything else. And once your eye sees it, it's game over, because you're just gonna constantly see it. So make sure it passes the eye test. That's the most important thing, and then go from there. But that's just a really simple video about our trends and black and white. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. If you have any comments, just leave them down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching the video, and please like and subscribe. That really helps the channel. Thank you guys.